Oh my god, so many spearmen! So many spearmen into the wood. Hello everyone, and welcome to this series in the Player Spotlight series. This is going to be spotlighting the player Zuppi, and this is Game 5. In the next round, this is going to be Round 6 of the Masters of Huns tournament in 2010. So this series is going to be a lot closer than the one you saw against Dreams. This is the final game. And he's going against the Legend Chris. Chris will have another episode on him another day, as I've said that before. But Chris, in my opinion, is probably the third best Age of Empires 2 player of all time. And yeah, so this is going to be Huns War. I think this is the game that Zuppi said was his favorite in this entire tournament. Again, in this tournament, Zuppi placed among the finals, and this was the first tournament he did so. So he feels particularly proud about this tournament. And we had finally a green like Arabia. So let's take a quick look at the maps. Zuppi has a very forward gold. Both boars are forward as well. Second gold is forward. Where's the third gold? Third gold is forward and to the side. So this is a horrible map from Zuppi already. Woodline's okay. Extremely open. Wow, what a bad map from Zuppi. Chris has a nice woodline, a nice berries in the back. Boars in the back. Another woodline's in the back. Secondary gold is in the back. Deer are close. Potential for walling. One of the golds is forward. Both stones are forward. Gold is somewhat forward. But Chris's map is a lot better. Just, wow, just so much better. That safe gold in the back as well. And much more prospects for Chris to wall this map. So, and this is an aggressive map too, because both players are right next to each other. They're not like directly across from the map. So this could be a little bit of a tough game. Let's see how Chris's playstyle differs from Dream's playstyle in the previous game. We saw Dreams in the previous two games go for more heavy feudal play and a lot more defensive play, in my opinion. Maybe Chris will be a little more aggressive in his playstyle. 3 villagers on wood for him. Zuppi, 3 villagers on wood. Let's speed it up a bit. And both players going after their boar. There's still six sheep on that. 6 food left on that sheep. Oh no. So both players scouting out their map. Not much to say about the Civ matchup. Usually this is the part in the game where I talk about the Civ matchup, but we're just watching Huns Wars. If you don't know already, I am a big fan of non-mirror matchups because I like talking about the Civ matchup. That's probably my favorite part of the cast. But the only thing to think about right now is what our player's opening strategy. Is it going to be a Drush fast castle? Is it going to be a Drush into archery ranges? Is it going to be a scout rush? Is it going to be a forward? Is it going to be a tower rush? That all lays to be seen. All the 3 villagers on wood probably suggest a scout rush. And what is Chris going to do? Going to try to attack that villager. It doesn't have loom, but it's pretty close to the town center, so I don't agree with that, really. I'm going to get that villager pretty low. And that is quite a disruption to Zuppi's wood economy. I think Zuppi could have handled that a little bit better by running back the villager immediately. And that villager's going to get pretty low from the boar lure as well, but I think she should be fine. 4 HP left, and there we go. Going to be fine. So nice play from Chris. Chris already putting up a little more fight than Dreams did last game, if I might say. And let's take a look at the scouting. Zuppi hasn't found his opponent yet. In fact, Zuppi still looks to be looking for some of his sheep. Where are Zuppi's sheep that are missing? Oh, here they are. They are very far away. Wow. I would never look for them there. That's unfortunate for Zuppi. So Zuppi's going to have a little bit of a harder time this game. Meanwhile, Chris, of course, his scout's been zooming around. Chris found his resources nice and early, and also sees everything in Zuppi's map, including that forward gold and those forward berries. Chris is going to get loom and probably head up to Castle Age on 22 population. No, 21 population. Even better. Alright, so our first 21 pop-up scouts play. Zuppi going to go for 22 pop-up. That's a nice second lumber camp. I always like to see it in the nook. And Zuppi finally going to move out. Going to give up probably on finding those sheep, which are still over there. And look for his opponent. So Zuppi's going up one population later. Missing 2 sheep. And has not found his opponent's base quite yet. And Chris is going forward. What? Zuppi is... There's no way he's going to see that. So Chris, because of that early scout, has seen the gold early, has seen the berries early, and is going to go for the forward. This is a small detail, but I don't agree with this farm position at all. The farm should be on the right side of the town center. Players should know that they're more efficient on the right side. Another weird wall for Zuppi. Zuppi's walls have been weird this entire series. I guess it's okay, but eventually you might want to put a lumber line on the left side there. And Chris is going to go for a typical forward. I haven't seen this in a long time. I'm pretty excited for this. This is just going to be a spearman skirmisher forward. As there's no way Chris is on gold right now. So this is a pretty typical play from a lot of civilizations that have economy bonuses. You can see them come forward with a barracks or an archer range and take away resources. You don't see it too much anymore. You see more men-at-arms and towers now. A little bit. I like men-at-arms and towers, but I like to see more skirmishers and spearmen. That's a lot of fun. This is a great strategy to do with Byzantines, particularly. And already 3 spearmen and a skirmisher doing quite a bit of damage. Tower's going to be up on the gold. Where the hell is Zuppi going to get gold from this game? So that gold is still accessible, but this one's way too far forward. Second archer range coming up. And Zuppi going to try to panic up that tower. It's only 16 HP, and it could actually get destroyed by the spearmen if they choose to attack it. Not too late. So that's an okay tower. We'll shut down a lot of aggression. We'll protect the berries. Let's see if Zuppi's going to lose any villagers, or if this tower is even going to go up. I think Zuppi needs to send more villagers. The villagers can do okay against these spearmen and the skirmishers, but some of them are getting pretty low. This villager's on 5 HP. It looks like she's going to die. Zuppi blocking his own villager. And is that tower going to go up? Doesn't look like it. In fact, Chris is even going to attack it with villagers. There's way too much army from Chris. And interestingly, Zuppi has chosen not to go for an archer ridge straight away, but went for a stable, which I disagree with a lot. All of these farms are going to be hittable by another tower if Chris is mining any stone. Is Chris mining stone? No, not yet. So I think Chris should be mining stone with at least a few villagers. Oh! Oh! Gotta be careful with that villager. And if Chris was mining some stone, again, a tower right here or right there would have been devastating. But so far, Chris has done pretty well. He's got a bigger army count. Even gonna mine the gold there. Which is a risky decision. And Chris is gonna keep Zuppi off gold for the time being. Chris only able to make this one archer. With the gold that he started with. Tower coming up on the stone. That's a good decision, in my opinion. That's a very good decision. Now Zuppi can take stone and keep his farmers and woodline in the back safe. And Zuppi's going to go try to find something to do with these scouts, but there's a few spearmen at home for Chris. Chris has made a stable of his own, which, again, I find a little peculiar. Blacksmith coming up from Zuppi. And Zuppi just looking for something to do. That woodline's pretty nasty, I must say, from Chris. It's very inefficient. He should rebuild his lumber camp there. Maybe even build a new one there. And if you're Chris as well, I think you should just stonewall that gold pile. Zuppi can still take that. But the question is how. So is Zuppi going to build a market and use the gold to go up to Castle Age and then continue to sell? Or eventually Zuppi's going to have an army to take out this army of Chris. Or Zuppi's going to have to sneak over there and build the tower. One of those options. Well, right now Zuppi's not taking any stone at all. And that's a mill, not a mining camp. That's a mill. It's a mill to take the stone. What the hell is that mill? Zuppi's still scouting around on the top. Finally, Zuppi finding his sheep. So it looks like the option is going to be market. So Zuppi's going to have a lot of food coming in, especially if he doesn't produce scouts. He's still producing scouts currently. I don't see the point of that. I think Chris should be able to defend. That's a terrible woodline. Just a terrible woodline. On the other hand, I don't see why Chris is, so defensive with a lot of this army. Has Chris stopped? Yeah, Chris is still making army, so should still be ahead. I would still just try to pressure right in the wood line. Pressure some of the farms. I think you're safe to do that because you can assume where your opponent's army is going to be. And I think Chris should be taking stone as well, either for offensive or defensive towers. Let's take a look at Chris's resources. Pretty low. Zuppi, pretty low as well. And another stable coming up from Zuppi. So Zuppi's planning a heavy feudal age play. Set up his food economy in the last few minutes. Probably going to get some upgrades for these scouts. Chris's map is still very open. That gold, again, is forward. Woodline is terrible. A lot of these farms are very far from the town center. These scouts have bloodlines. They don't have any armor, and... Oh god! Oh, god! Okay. Oh, god. That's where it was. Alright, so that's going to hinder Zuppi a little bit for going for some aggression. Losing 2 scouts for nothing. But he's got the upgrades on them. And now Chris taking some gold. Chris does not have enough stone for a tower. He does not have an emergency tower if he needs it. And I think he's going to need it. There's only 4 spearmen, but there are quite a few skirmishers with fletching. I think the skirmishers should do the job. And most of this army from Chris is skirmishers. It's not archers. Meaning that these scouts should go to town. And I think this is going to be a great fight for Zuppi. Looks like it's not going to be enough, especially if the gold miners decide to participate in combat. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. If you're Chris, you'd like to have a tower on the gold. Nice micro with the spearmen. The spearmen are distracting a lot from the skirmisher fire with their patrolling. And it's still going to be enough as Zuppi takes Chris away from the gold. And going to add 2 more stables for 4 stables total. What? What? Meanwhile, Chris is up to the Castle Age. His economy is not looking good at all, but he's up to the Castle Age, getting scaled, barding armor, and bloodline, so he's going to go for knights. Oh god. So Zuppi's in full feudal. And Chris will have enough gold for a few knights. I think he should get up with a market with all that wood, sell some of that wood. Look at that lumber camp. Look at that lumber line. It's horrible. Get that working. Oh, is this GG right here? Just needs to add a few knights. There's only 1 stable. Only 1 stable for Chris. Back at home, anything going on? No. A lot of spearmen are stuck here. If they should absolutely come forward. This is horrible, horrible in Chris's base. Chris is down to 42 villagers. The town center is full. A lot of this is because Chris does not have enough stone for that tower. These villagers have nowhere to hide. But will Chris have enough to stabilize more military coming out across the map? The spearmen will help a tremendous amount. But without a market, there's no more resources coming in for knights. No more food's coming in. It looks like Chris has enough knights to defend for the time being. Chris, what are your resources looking like? Man, mine a bit of stone. You could add a town center onto the gold. Just the stone's right there. Just it would take 3 trips. 2 trips with wheelbarrow. No gold's coming in. Chris is down to 36 villagers, but still he's got the Castle Age advantage. These knights are very scary. Especially if they got onto the wood line. Oh god. That's a lot of scouts. If Chris could afford like 1 or 2 more upgrades for his knights, they would just destroy these scouts. They're already so good. But like bloodlines or husbandry. Zuppi's doing the right thing and adding a lot of spearmen back at home. He's got 2 barracks there in the back. He's also got some pretty good walls up. So these knights are not going to do too much damage. They're going to do a little. Chris going down to below 30 villagers. I think with that wood count, it's just add 2 town centers, I think. That would be the best play. This knight is has sneaked its way in there, but the tower's going to take it out. And something that's very interesting, too. Zuppi still has no access to gold. He's been doing this whole thing without gold, with the market. Let's check the market price. Okay, I can't because Chris doesn't have a market, but here's the market price for Zuppi. Sell price is not too good. But Chris just can't defend from these scouts. The scout rating. Go back to Chris's point of view. Chris, you have 1,000 wood in the bank. Make a market. Make a market. It's not going to hurt your economy to make a market. In fact, it'll do the opposite. Dude, what a casting in the most interesting time, just leave. I don't know what that means, to be honest. I'm sorry. Knight's gonna take out quite a few scouts. Man, look how many scouts a knight can take out. That's just with 1 upgrade onto the armor. Oh my god, so many spearmen! So many spearmen into the wood line! What the fuck? What is this shit? What the fuck? Oh my god. Zuppi, you should go up to Castle Age eventually. God. Actually, with the way this game is going, maybe he doesn't have to. Just, Chris is gonna decide. It's 27 villagers only. Some mistakes from Chris, in my opinion, but... What is this game? I don't think Zuppi mined 1 bit of gold this entire game. So it just went full feudal, and it actually worked out this time. Look at all the bodies on the farms. Some of this is Chris. Chris should have built a tower there, should have taken some stone, built a town center. Made his woodline a little more efficient. My god. But Zuppi gonna take that and gonna win that best of 5 series. And advance to the next round. I think in the next round he did lose, but did make it to the finals of the series.